Welcome to Think Tank Conversations by OPN, where we discuss all things related to packaging and sustainability. We would like to welcome Hery Henry, the Head of Strategic Marketing and Corporate Social Responsibility of the Wipak Group, a global packaging company. Wipak's vision is to be the most sustainable, flexible packaging company, with a promise to reduce the company's CO2 footprint. In addition, Hery is a well-known speaker and moderator on all things related to change, sustainability, and startups. IPAC Expo 365, brought to you by the Open Packaging Network, feel very strongly about sustainability, and we therefore welcome company initiatives like that of Wipak, who are actively working toward making a difference.
Thank you for joining us today, Hery.
Pleasure is all mine.
You have been at the forefront of valuable, insightful conversations for many years. You have lectured at prime locations spreading over 20 countries, including Finland, Sweden, Russia, Germany, Switzerland, Tanzania, the UK, China, and Belgium. You are indeed quite successful. What would you say defines a valuable presentation, and what can we expect from your think tank on the 29th of September?
Well, I think strictly from a presenter's point of view, you need to have something new. If you think about the fact that the world's second biggest search engine is now YouTube, any factual information, any skill sets that you want to learn, any tools that you want to learn about, you can just Google them and look for them. So why would you go to a live event? Why would you go to a live presentation? The difference there is how well the speaker is able to interact with the listeners, the people in the audience, how relevant the speaker on his podium is able to make the topics, how tangible, how alive he's able to make them come to the audience present. And so it's a mixture of storytelling, and news items or innovations that are not yet out there. I have to bring something new every time. So I have one keynote speak every 4 days until I meet you guys. And I'm fully aware of the fact that everything is recorded. The memory of the internet is forever. So I will have to assure you right now that the next 4 keynotes before I meet with you guys will have to be completely different to the one that I will be, to the content that I will be discussing with you, just by default of the internet world that we live in today.
Being an expert in the packaging industry, flexible packaging to be precise, what value do you think companies like Open Packaging Network bring to the industry?
Well, you're important integrators to us. We wouldn't, you're the platform on which we meet, right? You bring us together, you facilitate the discussion. And just take for example, we all talk about the need for recycling in terms of achieving sustainability goals. Well, the European Union alone has not only 27 countries with different recycling legislations, but 36 regions that have regional differences in terms of what infrastructure they have, what legislation they have. So just when you look at that complexity, you see the need for an integrator, a platform where we have these discussions and where we determine next steps. And actually, the industry for a long time now has welcomed the opportunity to discuss even with competitors or with shall we say, organizations that are not natural allies in the value chain, because it's that one world we have, that one world we live in, and we learn from each other. And I've said it on many occasions to some of our fiercest rivals, the reason we're as good as we are is because they're as good as they are.
We heard that you are a keynote speaker at an event in Berlin, which is amazing. Your headline is Innovations in Sustainable Packaging. Tell us more about that. Are you passionate about sustainable packaging?
Yes. So I've got 2 events coming in the next 6 weeks in Berlin. Both are centered on innovation. One is called Our Path to Carbon Zero. So how exactly we intend to be a plastic packaging company that has a 0 carbon footprint in just a mere 5 years. And the other one is about certain types of innovations that will change the materials that we use in our packaging, in our day-to-day packaging. And there's a massive push now towards bio-based solutions, towards wood and paper solutions, solutions that are simply lower in carbon footprint. And innovation is the one chance we have as humankind. It's not in the nature of humankind to drastically reduce consumption. And at the same time, we can't just forbid everything, because we need to create the jobs. So if we forbid certain materials that create certain types of jobs, what do the people do who work in those jobs? So we need to turn our economy into a green economy with green jobs, so that people can work and sustain their families, and at the same time as living in a sustainable lifestyle towards a sustainable future.
How has your journey been with Wipak? What are some of the things that you're proud to have accomplished there?
I mean, being the first flexible packaging company to even declare that we intend to become carbon neutral. I mean, if you think about the other companies, car manufacturers, for instance, that are out there that have declared that they will be carbon neutral in 2050, most of the people who made that decision won't be alive in 2050. Let's be realistic. So we decided that we're going to go with a much more aggressive timeline. And if let's say we almost get there, we get to 90%. Well, you always say, I'm okay if I'm a little bit short of the target, as long as I'm the world's best. If you shoot for the moon, if you miss, you end up among the stars. It's the cliched saying, and I think it's very true. If we had set the target at 2050, we wouldn't have to think about it for the next 20 years. So we set the target 5 years hence. And we said, let's reverse engineer that, and let's say, what would it take to get there in 5 years? And now we know. We spent a year in assessing. We know the exact carbon, the exact environmental footprint of each one of our products. So we can tell, very different to a lot of sort of, for instance, biodegradable or other products, which look very nice on paper, which have a nice end of life cycle, but might have a high energy footprint at the beginning when they're created. But then the environmental footprint ends up being higher than with traditional packaging. We said from the get-go, we need absolute facts. We measured the overall environmental footprint, so that when our customers come to us and say, which one's better? We say, well, for this kind of application, this product is better. We're 100% sure, because we measure the carbon footprint, including business travel, including everything our people do, including transport, waste, and so on. So that was a big one. We said that's what we want to do, and we wouldn't have done that if it wasn't an aggressive target, because the question we asked was a different one. The question was, what does it take to do it in 5 years? Sure, there's challenges, but we know what it would take. If we had asked what would it take to do it by 2050, then that's the answer we would have gotten. The quality of your question informs the quality of your answer.
Is the company pronounced as Wipak or Wipak?
We actually say Wipak. So
Wipak.
Company.
Okay.
And we're particular about that. And there's a funny story with that, because when we started, so we have a sister company called Wipak in the US, about the same size as us. And when we went there and we said Wipak, then people felt that there was a connotation with why pack at all.
Okay. Yes.
And that's not a discussion we want to be having.
Yeah.
We do have an answer to that question. So I mean, the environmental footprint of our packaging is so much lower than the product that it packs. So for instance, if you have 6 slices of cheese in a package and you throw 1 slice of cheese out, then the environmental footprint is the same as 10 packages. So Wipak is easily answered, but we don't want to be called that anyway.
Catch Hery Henry live at our think tank on the 29th of September. You can buy your tickets at expo.opmplatform.com. See you there.